we were talking about the mists of ignorance being removed from our minds, right? That was our opening prayer. And it's very concerning to me and amusing at the same time that United Methodist leadership and even clergy on the ground that should know better, should be understanding their people, still are completely unable to understand their people and their concerns and the predicament that the institution finds itself in. So to justify what I'm saying here, here's a post on the United Methodist Clergy Facebook page. This is from a clergy named Terry Melton. I don't know who he or she is. On my first day at my new appointment, there were a few letters addressed either to me personally by name or to pastor from people who wanted to officially withdraw their membership in the church as a result of the 2024 General Conference. Some were rather critical of the UMC, while others were more cordial. Has anyone else experienced this since the 2024 General Conference? And so the reason that I'm, face palming is right now is when you go down the comments, and oh my gosh, there are so many comments. What becomes abundantly clear is so many clergy, one, hate laity and disdainfully treat them and look down upon them for having religious convictions, and two, just don't seem to understand what's at play here. So, let's look at a couple comments. One is, frankly, if there are folk choosing to pointedly do that to the incoming pastor, then the church is far better off without them. The fact that they're attempting to make this seem personal or to someone they never met is disgusting. And then, why did they wait until you came? They've already made up their minds. The previous pastor was more equipped to talk to them out of it. You don't have a relationship with them yet. You, by all means, can offer to have conversation with them, but you certainly just need to honor their decision. And so there's different theorizing as to why they did, and there is, why didn't they do this with the previous pastor? Why are they doing this with you? That's a legitimate line of questioning, but it's also beside the point. The main point is the United Methodist Church has made a series of decisions, especially in this latest General Conference, that alienate them from the values of majority American culture. And it's not just the gay stuff. It's the stuff around Israel. It's the stuff around gender and identity. And yes, that overlaps with the sexual orientation stuff. But it's all signaling a far left progressive bent, which only a fraction of the American population in general holds, and a much smaller fraction of Christians hold. So they threw all their eggs in one basket that does not bear fruit, and statistically makes it so that they can't really exist anywhere other than Potemkin communities in urban areas. And so you've seen. I want to plug. I just finished an interview yesterday with David Roseberry. He was at one time the biggest Episcopal church pastor in the country in Plano, Texas. There was a mega church with thousands of people attending each week. I didn't know this whenever I scheduled the interview with him, but hopefully I'm going to be able to publish it tomorrow morning. And he tells the story about how the Episcopal Church made the same decision to alienate a ton of their people and pretty much box themselves in a tiny corner where they can't thrive or flourish now. And so this is what the United Methodist Church has done. And the thing that I've been saying all along, and many other people, is just going, how can they not understand how unwise what they have done is? And it's not just the bishops, although it is the bishops. It's not just the general boards and agencies, chairs and their people, although it is them too. It's a ton of clergy who went to seminary and got indoctrinated into this worldview where they're on the right side of history, and whatever God is going to bless what they're doing, and they're going to see victory in the end. And it's this, it's not a rational thing. It's not a reasonable thing. It's an ideological thing that makes it now so that even as salt of the earth laity are responding to the situation on the ground, I'm sure a lot do get it. But there are others that are just so miffed as to publicly publish on the internet how confused they are about such behavior. And this inability to really take things for what they seem, which is the United Methodist Church has behaved dishonorably, such that laity who have been committed to the UMC all their lives now have to leave. And they're leaving in droves. And now that they can't take their churches with them, they're just abandoning their churches, which is a really sad and unnecessary thing. It didn't have to be this way. But that's the way it's going now. And you're going to have a bunch of highly credentialed clergy sitting around and going, well, who's going to pay my bills now? How are we going to get through this? And the answer is nobody, and you're not. The UMC is I was being a little too cynical and direct. The United Methodist Church is now going to maintain itself for a prolonged period of time by liquidating and metabolizing local churches, their buildings and assets. But the days of United Methodist growth, well, they actually never existed. They've been in decline ever since the year they were formed, but there is no hope now. So it's just going to be a depressing, long picture that I'm going to continue to cover for the time being, because I think people need to see in the light what was done in darkness.